Countryside YMCA TV show. I'm Matt Bruns, part of the Countryside YMCA team, and I'm excited to have Anita Pelletier with me today. I get the privilege to get to work with Anita all the time, so it's great to have her here, be part of our show today. And what we're going to be talking about to get things started, Anita and I are going to talk about an upcoming event. This is an annual event that the YMCA hosts, and it is our 38th annual golf outing. Is that correct, Anita?
That's correct.
All right. Neither one of us were around at the beginning, but we do have some nice history. We know why the event happened, so we'll talk about some of that today. Very important piece, but also a fun day. It's great because the community gets to come out, be involved with the Y, and you and I are kind of outside the walls of the YMCA. So, you know, one of the best pieces about the YMCA is the fact that the building is such a wonderful facility. Got a lot of amenities in the building, but it's nice to be able to get outside of the YMCA sometimes, and here's a great opportunity to do that. So where is the event held this year?
The golf outing is held at the Mason Golf Center.
And that's where we've done it last few years?
In the last couple years, correct.
Right. So last year, this is one of the few things that we got to do as far as bringing people together as a YMCA. Got to bring people together, have a fun day. We were outside. And because we were outside, we got to go ahead and have the event even during the pandemic, correct?
That's correct.
So this was a nice piece last year. I remember just getting to Countryside YMCA myself and becoming a staff member here at the Countryside YMCA. But it was great to get out. My first time meeting a lot of people, but now I've seen, how many golfers do you think golf in this event?
Last year we had about 136.
136. So we're close to 140-ish probably each year. And last year the turnout, I was amazed because I'm like, there's a pandemic going on, but people were dying to get outside and connect with people. And it was the first time I got to meet a lot of people that are very important to the Y. But I guess I just want to start today. And I know, let me ask you, how long have you been involved with the golf outing itself?
I've been at volunteering for about 6 years with the golf outing. So I've met a lot of great, community members that come and help support the Y.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I got there last year and I met these people, and then I kept seeing them afterwards, like, oh, these are, great community leaders, great ambassadors for the Y, and at the same time they get to come out there, support the YMCA, and get to hang out and be a part of each other that whole day and just enjoy a day together. So that's really nice. I know the YMCA, a big part of what we do at the Y is bringing people together. And it's very tough during a pandemic to be able to do that, but this is one of the few events, because it was outside the four walls of the YMCA, we got to be able to do. But so over the last 6 years, let me ask you a question. It's kind of open. You can talk about it for a while, but just know that, I guess I'm trying to figure out, I think I know, but I want to be able to share this with our viewers. Why does the YMCA have a golf outing? Why has this been happening for 38 years and has become really a neat thing for people to look forward to and take part in?
I think it's really giving back to our community. It helps as a group of people who like to come together and give back and strengthen our community. It's one way to do that, but it's also a way to grow relationships with everybody that give back to our YMCA, which in turn gives back to the Warren County community. Right,
for sure. And that's something, the YMCA we've talked about on the show before. What we strive to do is make an impact in people's lives. So we try to make that positive impact in the lives of others. And this event is a fundraising event, right? Like,
that's correct.
You and I know this, but I'm just trying to get it out there. Like, the intent of this event is to raise funds.
That is
and
correct.
The reason we are doing it is not to handle anything operationally wise. It is to make sure that our outreach programs and the way that we can positively impact people's lives gets to happen, and it gets to happen for everybody in the community.
That's correct.
Our opportunities, our doors are open for everybody in the community, regardless of financial status, or if they're going through tough times, we have a financial assistance program. We have some other outreach programs. Can you help me? We've got about probably, 6 or 7 programs that benefit from this fundraising event.
That's correct.
And the annual campaign as a whole, which is a campaign we do throughout the year. But this is a great event that kind of caps the fall part of our annual campaign as it goes throughout the year.
Absolutely.
But I know we do the financial assistance piece, like I said, to make sure everything's open for everybody. What other things does benefit from the fundraising event like the golf outing?
There's a lot of We have a Blessed Respite program that helps with families with special needs children. They have a night out. There is a kinship program for families that also need a night out. We do the Live Strong at the YMCA for cancer surviving patients. And we also have the Early Learning Literacy program for students. There's 2 branches outside of the YMCA that get early education. There's several different little programs that benefit from this.
Right. I know there's a 4th grade Begin to Swim program.
That's correct.
So all these programs that you have mentioned, those are considered like our outreach programs. Those aren't. Those are ways where the annual campaign, we raise dollars so that the following year we get to make all of these programs happen at no cost to the participants.
That's correct.
So we look at, like the first one you mentioned, it was the kinship program. So this is a program where parents can drop a child off that has some special needs.
Well, that's the Blessed Respite.
Sorry,
No,
thank
you're
you.
fine.
That was the first one you mentioned.
Yes.
Was the Blessed Respite.
Okay.
So the parents can drop off their child, and they have some special needs. So we've got a good 1-to-1 ratio, like
There's
of
help
a staff
for them to
person
help.
and volunteers that
And-
help out.
Yep.
And the parents can drop them off, know they're in a safe place, having a great time, and it gives the parents some much needed
Yep.
time
They-
out by themselves, right?
Yep, they can drop their siblings off along with it, so that way the
Yeah,
whole
that's
family
awesome.
gets to stay, and then the parents have two to 3 hours to go out for an evening and then
Right.
come back.
And that the cost to the parents is
Free.
It's a free program, correct? There is
Absolutely.
no cost, and that's where the outreach programs come in. So the Blessed Respite, the kinship program, cancer survivors.
Yes.
So cancer has touched almost everybody out there in some way, shape, or form. And the YMCA has a program called Live Strong at the Y, where cancer survivors can come in, and it's a small group, about 10 or so. It's a 12-week program.
That's correct.
And this helps them spiritually, physically, and mentally get back to a place where they were before they had to go through this big battle in life, right?
Absolutely, it gives them strength and helps them realize the potential and keeps them going. And I think my father was actually a participant of the program, and so he learned a lot, and he also just grew as an individual still. So it was just amazing to see the group of people together working.
Yeah, and that's, you hit it right on the head there, together. So we got a group of people going through the same thing in life, and they get to kind of have their own community, even though it's 10 people, they kind of get to go through it with people that are going through it, the same things, that they know the issues that they're dealing with. There's a lot of cost involved. There's a toll that it takes on family members, and the doctors are around them all the time. The people going through the program know all these because they're doing it themselves and they're around other people. So
Yes.
it's great to see the program and see how it impacts them, because I've been at the Y for 26 years. I've got to see this program for probably about the last 6-7 years. And to come here at Countryside Y and see that they have this program was great for me, because it's really one of the programs that I've talked about as one of my favorites, because the impact that it has on the participants is so easy to see, because at the end they do a kind of like a potluck get-together graduation.
A graduation,
correct?
That's correct.
And they bring their family members in there, and I've been fortunate enough to be at some of these, and
Yeah.
it kind of reassures me that what I do each day for the YMCA is where I'm supposed to be in life, because that program, to hear the participants talk about the impact that it's had on them, is just phenomenal. They've talked about how it feels to be normal again.
Yep.
And that's something I take for granted probably on a daily basis.
Yep.
But to hear someone talk about a battle that they've gone through, and this program, being around others that have gone through the same thing, they get to come in and they feel normal again. And that's something where, it hit me. Like,
Yeah.
what an impact this program is having on people.
And,
And we've
and-
got some great staff members doing that. Who does that for us? Gail and...
Gail and Lisa Holtz, and they had mentioned to me that there's a possible, I believe, an alumni group that are going to be
Oh.
starting.
That is awesome.
Yes,
That's
so
awesome.
that's great to see the continuation of that bond that they've developed. So
Yeah, that's
pretty
great. So that's another one of the programs. The 4th grade
Begin to Swim.
program is benefited through this fundraising event, the golf outing.
Yes,
The 4th grade Begin to Swim program is one where Lebanon and
Waynesville.
Waynesville's 4th grade classes come into the school.
Yep, they do.
Or,
come-
I'm sorry, they come into the Y,
Why, they
right?
come in
get
during
bussed
their
in.
yep. They come in during their gym time for 6 weeks of swim lessons.
Yeah.
And it's pretty. Carla Toy has that really ran perfectly because of how the kids. There's a lot of like 3 or 4 classes that come together.
Yeah.
And she gets them organized to their levels, and the progress that each of these kids make is amazing.
Right.
Some haven't even touched the pool water at all.
Yeah, there's a large range of swim levels coming in
Yep.
with that group. Some kids in 4th grade deathly afraid of the water. You get a couple of those in each class.
Yep.
Then you got a couple that are on our swim team and they're swimming like fish in there.
Yep.
And Carla does a wonderful job getting the ones that aren't comfortable with the water. She gets them comfortable with the water. And
Yes.
they're in there blowing bubbles and they're doing their thing.
Yep.
And then you've got the other ones that are, hey, let's practice the 500 while we're in here. We're going to do this. And they all get some good time in the pool. And the neat thing is, again, this is a program where the school buses them here.
Yep.
They come off. No one knows who can afford it, who can't afford it, because it's all taken care of.
That's
They all
absolutely.
come at the same time. So
The staff are great.
right, another great outreach program that the Y gets to serve the community from because of the annual campaign, the golf outing, and the gala, the 2 events that happen throughout the year.
That's right.
So we'll kind of get back to the golf outing here again. So
Yes.
it's when is this happening?
This is happening Wednesday, September 15th, and it again is at the Mason Golf Center, and that it starts at 11:45 show up time. Lunch is provided, and that is provided through Tortilla Garcia, and then we have a scramble kickoff at 1 p.m.
So the golfers are actually start golfing around 1.
That's correct.
And I know there's some fun things out there on the course with them, but the day is just, you take care of weather and you do a great job. I know that from last year. You do fantastic taking care of the
Yes.
weather. But yeah, great day for people to get out there. And then, so the dollars that happen through this, obviously there's a participation fee probably for the teams, right? I know that.
There's a team and an individual, so if you would like to do team or individual, then definitely there's a fee for that.
And are there still openings left?
Yes.
Oh, great. So people can still sign up. I know there are over 20 teams already signed up now,
That is correct.
but there's still, we've got maybe 10 or a dozen so still left at this
Yep.
time. Okay. So people can still get involved if they want to.
Right.
They can volunteer that day if they want to.
Absolutely.
I know you utilize volunteers out there. And then how else does the event raise money for these outreach programs at the Y?
There is, so when they come in, there is a couple things that they can purchase outside of the golfing. There's the mulligans, of course, for those that need that. Or we do have a raffle section that will have a table full of nice gift baskets that our community businesses have donated.
Yes.
And it's a really great thing that you can get raffle tickets and put towards a gift that you might win.
Right. We're very fortunate to have a community that supports the Y in these outreach programs and the service that the Y does. There's a lot of sponsors that also get behind this, and for certain sponsorship levels, they get a certain amount of teams in it, but they also get like a whole sponsor, so they'll have recognition at a whole.
That's correct.
That kind of says, hey, we are a partner of the Y. We believe in what the Y does. We want to be part of that impact with them, and that's great. I know some of our sponsors that have been with us for a long time. Antioch Church is
Yes.
affiliated with the YMCA there. They meet at the Y, and they're great partners with the YMCA. LC&B Bank.
Yep.
There was
Duplicator Sales
yes,
Office
thank
System.
you. Yep. So they'll have a golf team there. We'll also have them whole sponsors and get them some recognition, because we love telling people about our partners and how they are helping us make this positive impact in the lives of others, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And we have a great community that helps supports this.
We do, for sure. We wouldn't be able to have a successful event without it, but seeing that's been going on for 38 years,
Yes.
obviously this is an event that people enjoy, people come out and support because of the reasons, knowing the impact that it gets to have. I know Judy Bauer is one that works with Anita and I out at Countryside YMCA, and Judy has history from back in the days, and the golfing just kind of got going with Ralph Stoley and George Hankel and some of these founding fathers of the YMCA. And you know that our YMCA is pretty special in a lot of ways, and one is the foundation that our Y has, and just how neat it is that people had the vision and the know-how to make it happen and come to fruition. But to see or to know and hear from others at the YMCA that these people took part in the golf outing, it makes it that much more special. And to know it's been going on for 38 years,
30 years.
that's awesome.
Yes.
And last year, like I said, I just got to the YMCA of Countryside YMCA, and I got to take part in this maybe week 2 or 3 that I was there, and I got to see Anita just do a great job a lot of behind the scenes work that makes an event like that happen.
A lot of great
planning.
Volunteers.
Yep.
Are awesome.
Who's on your committee with you? I know you and I meet weekly now,
Yes.
and then every other week for the last few months. But why don't you go ahead and give a shout out to some of the other people that help us make this happen, because it is definitely a team effort.
It is. We have Kristen Gonzala, we have Jason Roberts, and we have Julie Fennessy, and Sam Weiss is also on our team. So and we have a handful of great volunteers that come every year as well that help out.
Yep. And some of our sponsors donate dollars, and they also want to be there and be a part of it, hands-on as well. So they're volunteering out there, which is great. But yeah, again, you did a fantastic job, and all the volunteers that were there last year, I was like, man, this is a well-oiled machine we've got going here. But so many people come out, just want to support the Y and have a good day. I'm able to get some golf in at the same time. So. Anything else with the golf event that's coming up? It's exciting. It's right around the corner. Just a little bit of ways away now.
Yep, just look forward to seeing everybody there.
Yeah, great. All right, we're going to take a break right now, and then we'll come back, and Anita and I will be joined with Ryan from Premier Health, and he's going to help us with some golf tips and stretches and things that can get us ready as we get into our golf event that's coming up. Yep. Thank you.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Before we left for the break, Anita and I were discussing the upcoming golf outing that is the 38th Teed Up for a Cause outing that the Countryside YMCA has. And we also discussed some of the sponsorships that we get to make this event a success. And we mentioned a few of our sponsors, and I'm fortunate enough today to be joined by a representative of Premier Health, who is also a great partner to the Countryside YMCA. And I'm joined today with Ryan Pearson from Premier Health. And Ryan's got a lot of good tips and stretches for golfers as we get into the golf outing. So it's a great time for us to be talking about those things. But this also gives us some time with you joining us today to talk about, the nice partnership that the Countryside YMCA and Premier have together and why it works so well. And it's great to have you in the building with us. So we can get into all those things, but I want to welcome you to the show. So appreciate you having
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Wonderful. So Ryan, what is your role with Premier Health?
So I am a sports and human performance specialist at Miami Valley South Hospital, and I also have a Titleist Performance Institute certification. So I work a lot with golfers, golf fitness, and things of that nature. So
great. Are you on, being a avid golfer myself, I was just curious, are you on the preventative side of injuries, or are you on the, once someone is injured, they come to you, or are you on both?
I am lucky enough to be on both sides. So I also am an athletic trainer. That was my first job. So I have the unique skill set to be able to work with injuries and work around injuries. But also my main focus right now is getting golfers stronger, so a little bit more towards the preventative side and getting people stronger and feeling better and playing pain-free golf is my ultimate goal.
Wonderful. That's easier said than done,
right?
Absolutely. And I know especially, I look at my dad and others that I know, as people retire, they have more time for golf. So, and I know, as you age, everything changes, from walking down the steps in the morning.
Yep.
So I'm sure your job becomes something that is very advantageous for golfers. What is one of the most common things you see golf injury-wise as people are out golfing?
Yeah, so one of the most common things I see is folks for years will just ignore some random ache or pain that they have that kind of turns into something a little bit bigger. So I would probably say my most common injury I see is we're going to be dealing with back injuries. A lot of low back pain, and a lot of that's just due to some weaknesses that we haven't worked on in a couple years. And I try to identify those weaknesses and strengthen up some areas that need to be stronger, and hopefully, like I said, get to playing pain-free golf, because we shouldn't be playing golf to where we have to go take a handful of ibuprofen before or after our round. We should be able to get through a round, feel good, and hopefully play well.
Right. The scorecard can be the most painful thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
If everything else is going well.
If that's the most painful thing, then I'm doing great. So that's what I want.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. I assume you like what you're doing and have a passion for both.
Yeah.
You know, servicing, getting people healthy and playing pain-free golf and golf itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. We'll get into, I know you got some stretches today that are going to help and do some things. Before we do that, I just want to talk about a little bit of the partnership that the Countryside YMCA and Premier have.
Yeah.
Premier Health is actually located in the Countryside Y. They have a presence there. You want to go ahead and talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Countryside YMCA, they have a sports medicine and physical therapy department. And what makes that great is they are good people there. They know extensive knowledge of working with patients there, and they do a great job there. And what they do is they have something called direct access there. So you're kind of able to speed up the process if you need physical therapy. You can kind of go there. Most insurances will not require you to get a doctor script, so that's one of the bonuses of the sports and physical therapy department over there at Countryside YMCA.
That's fantastic. You know, I look at the YMCA, and I've been with the Y for a long time, and I think of the Y as trying to be on the preventative side of things. You know, if people are coming in, they're working out cardiovascularly and get their muscles active and get some motion going there, that hopefully it is preventing a lot of things from happening. But prescription is one of those things.
Absolutely.
And we get to hear that impact daily. But I know you guys are on both sides of that, helping prevent, and then as people, you know, it's not so much a if, it's a when things go wrong and you need some help. You guys are right there at the facility, so it's nice to be able to refer people down. And then when you guys work with them, I know you're like, hey, do these things, stretches, and stay active and do these things, and the Y is a great place. So I know it works out great as a very good partnership for the YMCA. You guys are wonderful with us as far as helping support the golf outing, the gala, different things that we do. Why do you guys get into helping someone like Countryside YMCA?
Just the area itself is a great area first and foremost, but most of all, we just want to be involved in the community. We know sometimes it can be tough, difficult to get in and get seen by a doctor, a physical therapist, a sports and human performance specialist, but we just want to make that process a lot easier. So we really want to build those strong relationships, those strong bonds, so that we can help you in any way that you need, and make that easier and as stress-free as possible. It's already stressful enough to have to deal with whatever aches and pains you have going on. So we just try to make that as easy and as streamlined as possible to make it easier on everybody. So that's why we have this relationship and work on those strong community bonds so that we make that a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I know our goals are very similar. They parallel one another as far as just good service to the community.
Absolutely.
Want people to live good quality lives, be healthy for as long as they can, right, through those lives. And yeah, it's great having you guys as partners. Let me ask you this. I know, you know, as we've been dealing with the pandemic for over a year now, a lot of things that come up in different meetings that I go to, community events and different things that are what are challenges in the community. A lot of times mental health comes into play. Does, in your opinion, you've been around golf, I'm sure, a lot longer than I have, or at least at a better quality of golf than I have. Is there some mental health that, are there advantages for golf and mental health with people? Have you seen this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's actually great to see some of the mental health going in the way it's going, because for the longest time, it's kind of been an ignored subject. And you see some of these big athletes, you look at Simone Biles from the Olympics, you look at Matthew Wolff, who's one of the top golfers in the world right now, that are taking that time to get mentally right, which is just as important as being physically right and physically able to play the game of golf. So as a lot of people know that play golf, I mean, the game is 90 to 95% mental. So absolutely, mental health is a massive, massive part of anybody's golf game. So to work on that and be able to better yourself in any way you deem fit is absolutely a huge priority of ours as well.
Yeah, that's great. I just, I know it's, you know, there's some silver linings have come from this pandemic, and like you just said, that's a great point. I think it, you know, helped people as it shed a light on mental health. It helped people to kind of have that courage to say, hey, this part of my life, I need some help with.
Yeah.
And people physically do it all the time and have been for years. Spiritually, people do it.
Yep.
And now mentally, this is kind of something that has come a little more to the forefront. And I think of golf as, sometimes frustrating, but for the most part, it's a good time to be outside, enjoying nature. You're with some friends, doing some activities.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
it's a great thing that can help with the mental piece of, trying to be physically, spiritually, mentally at your best and living your best quality of life. So that's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure those are good things you're doing. I'll let you go ahead and discuss some of the things that you do as far as helping golfers get ready to golf, whether it's for the season or for a golf match that's coming up. But
yeah, absolutely. So before I really get started into showing you guys some examples of some good warm-up techniques before a round, I do want to make sure that you are healthy enough to do this. So if you need to make sure you can consult a physician and make sure that first and foremost you are healthy enough to do these exercises. We never want to increase pain in anything that we do. So if you're feeling a pain or you're feeling an ache, that's not normal. We shouldn't be feeling pain in everyday activities that we do, especially golf. Like I said, end goal is to play pain-free golf. So some of the stuff that I'm going to do today is just going to show you a quick 5-10 minute warm-up that we can do before a round, get you feeling better, because believe it or not, a lot of studies show that if you just go into a round cold, your distances, how you're feeling, they're much worse than if you do some sort of warm-up before a round. So the differences I'm going to talk about today is something that we've probably all heard a lot about, the difference between a dynamic stretch and something called a static stretch. So when we talk about static stretching, it is a very good thing. The best example for a static stretch that I can think of is holding a hamstring stretch or trying to touch your toes, to where most people are going to think of holding that for 30 seconds to 45 seconds, which that's great, but it's not the best thing that you can do to get ready for a round of golf. You want to do something that is going to be a little bit more dynamic. You want to mimic some of the movements that you're going to be performing in the round that you play.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah, so that's what we want to look for when we do some of these. So I'm gonna hop up here. I'm gonna show you a little bit some just real quick exercises that we can go through and explain that a little bit.
Wonderful.
So first thing I want to look at, like I said, we're trying to mimic the best that we can the movements that we're going to be doing in our round. So getting joints nice, loosened up, muscles. We want to get the blood flowing a little bit. So we want to make these movements a little bit, like I said, more dynamic, starting slower and then moving to a little bit quicker. So the first motion I'm going to show you is just some basic arm circles. They're pretty self-explanatory, but what we're going to do is we're going to start with smaller circles right by our side, and then we're just going to work to a bigger circle up towards where we're swinging towards the sky a little bit. And do that for about 30 seconds or do 15 reps, whatever's easiest for you to count with. You're going to do forwards, and then we're also going to do backwards a little bit. So just getting those shoulders nice and warmed up, because obviously shoulders are a very important part of the golf swing.
Indeed, yeah.
Get those loosened up and get you feeling hopefully better on the first tee rather than starting to feel warmed up on the third tee, which is a lot of what people do, which I've done it myself. I'm just as guilty.
Yeah.
So getting a just 5-10 minute warm up out in the parking lot, right at the cart while you're waiting for the starter to give you the A-OK to go. By the putting green, just add this 5-10 minute warm up, and you will be feeling a lot better while you get moving. So
that's great.
That's one exercise. I've got 4 for us today. So the second one we're going to do is we're going to take a golf club actually, and we're going to hold it right across our chest. So we're going to hold it like this, and then what I want you to imagine is you're addressing a golf ball, just like you're going to hit a ball off the tee, off the ground, whatever's the best to help you to focus on that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this arms across your chest. You're just going to hold this club like this. I want you to bend on over just like you're hitting a golf ball. Head's going to be facing the golf ball, facing the ground just like you would be. And then we're just going to do nice. We're going to start with slow turns, but we're going to eventually turn the speed up a little bit to get you ready for that high-speed swing when we're actually playing and actually swinging off the first tee.
Yeah.
So start here. I want you to try to keep those hips as steady as possible. Keep them still. And then I want to see you turn. We're going to start with some, like I said, some nice slow ones. You're going to give me about 10 of those. And then what I want to see you do is kind of start speeding it up a little bit, to get those muscles primed, to get those muscles ready to go.
And how long is this one?
So this one again, so go ahead and start with slow ones for about 15 reps, because you never want to go into anything fast right away.
Right. Yep.
You want to warm up because your muscles are cold. You never want to jump right into something like that to where we're going to possibly injure yourself. We obviously want to avoid that, as we said previously. So about 15 of those, 15 good turns, and then you can start, like I said, turning the speed up a little bit to where we're getting closer to what our normal driver swing speed would be. So that's just working on what's called our T-spine, which is the middle part of our back, getting that nice and loose, because that is also very important for our golf swing and our takeaway.
Great.
And things of that nature.
Yeah.
So 2 more exercises. This next one is a challenging one, so I want to preface it with that, and I want you to be careful. We're going to do a body weight squat. So same idea. You don't have to have a golf club, but I'm going to show you how to do it with a golf club. We're going to hold it in the same exact plane, and I only want you to go down to a comfortable level. I don't want any pain with this, and I want you to go as far as you feel comfortable. So body weight squat, what we're looking at, I want your feet, I know you can't see my feet right now, but they're about shoulder width apart. And I want you to go down like you're sitting into a seat. That's exactly what I want you to mimic. Just like we're sitting down, so we'll hold this here, and I'll show you a few. Do the same thing, do about 15 of these. I want you here, we're just going to sit down, make sure we're sitting down into our heels, and then we're back up. So like I said, I don't need you to get really low. I just want to get those muscles firing and get that little bit of stretch. And get the blood flowing to the area a little bit.
Yeah, and for those that can't see, like you didn't go down to a 90-degree bend at the knee. You just went down a little bit and back up.
Exactly.
And we do about 15 of those?
About 15 of those.
Okay.
Like I said, just do a comfortable level. And that's all I really need to see. So, and for the last exercise, we're going to be focusing on our oblique muscles on the sides here. So we're going to hold this golf club the same exact way. Again, you don't have to, but I like to hold it. It's something, a little tool that helps keep you upright and keep you where you need to be.
Okay.
So this next one, we're actually going to stand exactly upright. We're going to be nice and straight, nice and tall, and we're just going to do slow. These are slow. These are not moving into a quick whatsoever. And we're just going to do some slow side bends. So you should feel good stretch right through the sides here in the obliques. So we're just going to kind of rock back and forth, just like that. Feel a really good stretch. Give me about 15 to 20 of those as well. And that should get you feeling pretty well and get you hopefully primed for a round of a life. That'd be my goal, right? That's my goal. So those are the exercises that I have to show for you today.
That's wonderful. Well, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked about, just people enjoying themselves, right?
Exactly.
Mentally, physically, spiritually.
Exactly.
And these are things that are going to help them. So I appreciate you being here today and showing us those
Yeah,
things.
absolutely. I appreciate you
Appreciate
having
everything
me.
that Premier Health does with the YMCA. We get a lot of good service between the two of us out there, and that's fantastic. That's why we're in the community and making things happen.
Absolutely.
So, well, great, Ryan. Appreciate you being here. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
I know Whitney from Premier Health will be out there the day of the event, but you're certainly welcome to join us if you'd like to. But September 15th, we look forward to seeing anybody that would like to join us out there. We have volunteer opportunities out there if people want to come out and be a part of it. We also have some team and individual golf participant openings so people can get involved that way. And if people just want to be a part of the impact that the Y gets to make through their outreach programs because of the event, please contact myself or Anita out at the YMCA. We'd be more than happy to talk to you about how to make that happen too, through a donation that would truly make a difference in someone's lives and make it a positive impact. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you to Ryan again and Anita that was here earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and call today. So thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.